I wanted to take a quick look at this little Shuttle mini computer that's been sitting around for so long. You guys probably haven't seen a lot of it, other than the times it's been sitting on the shelf when I had other videos. But this is called an xPC. I think this is one of the earliest small form factor computers on the market, at least, you know, with this type of hardware. I think it's a SS59G version 2. It's got mismatched parts in it. It's kind of it was a beat up machine. I don't even remember really where it came from. Somebody gave it to me just as a parts unit. It didn't work, and it was missing the shroud and fan assembly for cooling the processor. It has a heat pipe cooler in there, so I ended up mounting a fan on the back cover to pull air through the CPU cooler, so at least get some airflow. But let me pull the top off real quick. On the inside, it's very similar to Mini ITX, only the board is a lot deeper from front to back, and it also has a proprietary ribbon cable going to the front panel. A pair of SATA connectors, 2 RAM slots, and it's a socket 775 motherboard. It has a Pentium D, I want to say it's a Pentium D 930. It's a 3 gigahertz. Pentium D is a very early dual core chip. It's not the fastest thing in the world, and it puts off quite a bit of heat, but it's good enough to run the majority of everyday computing tasks. There's a really small power supply in here. I think it's only like maybe a 200 watt power supply. I had to replace a few capacitors on this when I got it just to make it work. Some of them were bulging, and if I was going to use this for everyday stuff, I would replace the rest of the caps because it's got these crappy G-Luxon capacitors in it. And but I got it to power up, and for some strange reason I cannot get Linux to install on this machine. Every version I've tried, it just locks up during the boot process and doesn't go any farther. Windows XP, Windows 7, and Windows 8 all work just fine. I had somebody on the badcaps.net forum, who also watches me on YouTube, modified that BIOS for me to get rid of the full screen logo that was on there because it was driving me crazy. I couldn't see what speed anything was running at, and there was no way to turn off the full screen logo, so they used a BIOS editor and straightened that out and sent the file back to me. I didn't have the patience to mess with it myself, so I just programmed it. And the BIOS on Shuttle's website was, you know, even though it was listed for this model, it was not the right file. I had to find the file somewhere else and go that route because it was never working. Every time I tried it, it would say it wasn't the right update file. So, not sure what was going on there. And there's Windows 8 sitting at its standby desktop. For a while I had this GeForce FX 5950 Ultra running in there, but I had to take it out because it was just overkill, and I'm getting ready to sell this on eBay, and I didn't want to waste that video card, so it's just running on all the stock hardware right now. Oh, it sounds like somebody just started the dryer. That's a lovely sound. But anyway, not really much to say about this thing. I think it's got a gig of RAM in it. I'm going to start it on eBay for dirt cheap. I'm just trying to make some space around here. Maybe somebody can do something with this. It does need a little bit of work, and I'm not sure why it won't run Linux. I know I've had Ubuntu running on it in the past, but any recent version of Linux I've tried did not want to start up, even in safe mode. So, not sure what's going on. It is a neat little computer though. It's about 8 inches square and 12 inches deep. It's 1 AGP, 1 PCI. Other than that, nothing too special.